Can I just tell you how much I hate being brain damaged and not understanding the sensitives of other people? I can understand people that have issues, but people that don't. I've lost friends. I've lost family. I've lost so much because of the way I think and the way I am and how I present myself. And it's sad. It makes me sad a lot. Lost doctors, lost all kinds of things because I can't control my thoughts when I'm by myself. When I'm with other people, that's a different story because I have that social interaction. But when I'm by myself, I'm no good. It makes me sad. I was hoping I could help some kids that are neurodivergent work through some of the things that they have to and be culturally sensitive to them. I was hoping I could work with this kid again. I bought him books to draw in so that he has that concrete part of his existence and not just loose papers. Because if he has a book that he can go back and look at, then it'll make sense to him because it's his own personal book. And I thought of things that would help other neurodivergent children, such as when they get overstimulated, it's hard for them to articulate what's going on with them. I thought maybe going to the zoo when there was nobody around, like in the morning when people just go for walks, that would be something that would be kind to a lot of children with impulse control and issues, as well as impulse control, as well as thoughts that are racing. Because these kids, they think differently than a neurotypical. They think faster. And because they have to negotiate a brain healthy world, they have to have skills that somebody that doesn't have them cannot teach. It's difficult. I noticed that being overstimulated can cause problems. And being around a bunch of kids in certain settings is not beneficial. I'm sorry if I'm offending you. Maybe some part of you needs to be offended to break out of your own personal bubbles. Because life is for the living. And I've almost died several times over. Having brain surgery is no fun. Having a rotting septic tube in my gut for 7 years of bad luck when my husband died during that time. That really sucked. I'm trying to control my mouth, which is difficult. When I'm around other people, it's not an issue. Because I'm sensitive to such things. Just like I'm culturally sensitive to people that speak with a different dialect because it makes things more interesting. And I don't mean to be offensive about noticing people with cultural differences. I I think that's the flavor of life. That makes everything brighter. But I was thinking of things to do with some kids so that they feel more comfortable being around other people. Because most of these kids are going to end up like me, working in IT, working alone, being mostly by themselves, so that they don't disturb the sense of other people's calm. And that's something that somebody that isn't neurotypical will never, ever, ever understand, because you fit in. You don't have a bad day or you have a bad hour. We have bad days, bad weeks, bad months, bad years. And teaching someone about neurofeedback, and one of the best things that I ever did was EMDR therapy. And those kinds of things aren't necessarily taught in the district because you don't have the time to spend with each child to teach them these things. And most teachers don't know about it because they don't experience these things themselves. And how can you expect to try and teach someone how to live their lives if you have no frame of reference for their plight, their difficulties? I always have a hard time understanding adults because their motivations aren't like mine. My father used to cuss around me like a sailor. That's one of the reasons why I use the strong language that I use, is to take it so it's not so sensitive. Take words that are used to describe women and turn it around and show something positive. Understand how you don't have to be. You can be some of those words and not be offended yourself because somebody's calling you that. Somebody's making a joke about that. There's so many things. I would love to be president. And if I were, there are so many things that I would change in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. That could change the world like I already have. And if you can't see that I've changed your lives by looking at Facebook, by looking at Instagram, my neurodivergent ass, my ideas of what the future should be like, what it should look like, those are mine. Do you think somebody that hasn't? Who else in the world can say that? In the world. Nobody. I'm the only woman, the first woman to keep a blog online that's still available today. I started off as oneopinionatedbitch.com because these engineers were making fun of me. And I was like, I didn't know what to think. I wanted to make my mark because this engineer said I went to the College of Arts and Crafts. So I learned HTML. And that's how I got my start doing these things. If your sensibilities are offended, then I guess you shouldn't keep me on as someone that kids can look up to and understand and be interested in them as a part of their lives. Make a change, make a difference. That's just me in a nutshell.